You are not sexy, big sexy. You're fat.
Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rokakodash. Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Bashem is in the name. And only those two names you're going to be delivered by in these perilous times. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, beloved Akim, that is pushing this word in sincerity and truth with humiliation on across the four winds. To you, I salute. This is the brother Desire One back at you with another lesson. And the beloved brother sent me this morning, and Akim, I had to laugh. You're not sexy, you're fat. And, westernization has fooled a lot of these people in thinking that because, you know, um, they fat, they sexy. No, you're not. You're out of shape. All right. Okay. Let me play this again.
You are not sexy, big sexy. You're fat.
You're not.
You are not sexy, big sexy.
You're fat. All right. You ain't big sexy. You're fat. All right. Westernization has messed these women into thinking, you know, I'm fat and I'm proud. You're out of shape. All right. Esau's lied to y'all. You're out of shape. All right. And right now, in our country, the Bahamas, you have a lot of obesity in this country. A lot of obesity. All right? A lot of obesity. That's why a lot of these people, even the young people, having these chronic diseases, right? All right? A lot of these people having these chronic diseases. All right? It says PAHO. It says Bahamas has highest prevalence of adult obesity in Americas. You see that? The Bahamas has highest next to Chile. All right, the tribe in Naphtali. All right. The Bahamas has the highest prevalence of obesity in adults among the countries in Americas. According to a recent according to a recently released Pan American Health Organization study, in adolescents and teens, watch this, the Bahamas is second only to Chile. All right, second only to Chile. Yeah, Israelites. All right, you know, okay, and mainly in over in the Bahamas, boy, a lot of these people they get a bad diet. All right, they get a bad diet, especially the ones who live in a lot of them will live in a city, where they have more access to fast food and pretty much it's a blessing to be living on the island because pretty much you don't have no access to fast food like that. You cook more of your food, as opposed to people in the city. But these fast food outlets, boy, trust me, man, I'm telling you, you know, and also a lot of these parents nowadays just allow these kids to eat and eat and eat, have no discipline. All right, because they look good, you know, they eating and looking chunky. No, no, they fat, they obese. All right. The Bahamas is second only to Chile. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Daval has repeatedly underscored the severity of the nation's issues. Obesity increases the risk of diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers, among other conditions, according to a report entitled NCD at a Glance. You see that? Obesity increases the risk of a diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers. That's why our people too sickly. Already they just want to eat, friggin' eat. All right? Okay? It says this NCD, the acronym for non-communicable diseases, including Cardiovascular disease, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes are the leading cause of death and disability in the region of the Americas. You know, it's poor right now with our people. A lot of them don't have no discipline. It says it is estimated that 16.9% of children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 years, or 18.5% of males and 50.4% of females, and 33.8% of adults, 31% of males, and 34% and 36.4% of females are obese in Americas in 2022. Damn. That's the highest level among all WHO regions. That's some shit. Children and adolescents, all right? And it's so bad. I remember a couple of years back, because I work around kids, and pretty much, that you had this one kid, he was so fat. Every time he walked past you, he side eye, and you can see, he fat. And yeah, it is, how his mother used to get offended when we would get teased from people that he fought. But the boy had hard problems, and he was just in grade five. Big fella. I don't imagine how he look now. You know, these parents is prize these shit up. For health purposes is bad. It's bad for kids to be obese at a young age. That's why they have early heart problem, these different diseases. It says the highest level among all WHO regions by country, the prevalence of obesity in children and adolescents range high from a high in Chile of 27.5 to a low in Guatemala of 7.7%. Among adults, prevalence of obesity varied from a high in the Bahamas of 47.3% to a low in Haiti of 10.7%. Higher among females than males in all countries except Canada. You see that? Higher among females than males. All right, and these women under the curses. Are we gonna get it? All right. It's while the Bahamas remains in top of 10 countries in the Americas with the highest NCD mortality rates in PAHO member states, it is among 11 countries that reach its target to achieve the global NCD target. However, Dr. Java said Bahamians have to be willing to do the work. All right, they ain't interested. They damn me too much. They ain't know how to rule their own spirit. All right. Early this year, Davil noted that the healthcare system is strained by the high rate of non-communicable diseases brought on largely by lifestyle choices. People tend to just want to drink, go to the club, just party, go to the club and drink all kind of rum and you know, pretty. Hey, I saw we had this this function we have every year on our island, an island where I'm at, and called Regatta, and United Spain out there. And a lot of young people, man, fat, out of shape, young people, and to what Yahweh Shema Shai for the apostles and elders. Yahweh Shema Shai put the spirit on them, and with understanding, you get to learn more about the herbs, and taking them. All right, and the apostles them, you would look at them, you know, and pretty much, on a good diet, we learn from them. The Wadi Abba Shemel Shai, you know, I never I never knew about taking herbs, you know, until I came in the truth. It's a blessing. You know, all these diseases and stuff like that come from these damn being obese. But people don't care. They don't have no discipline. All right, lifestyle choices that's like what the Mr. Dr. Davel said. Just want to drink and eat and just damn be obese and go lay down. You don't exercise, nothing. It says chronic non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and kidney failure are crippling our healthcare system, he said. Study after study confirmed that habits formed during childhood often continue in adolescence and then on into adulthood. You see that? It starts from young. You imagine what you train your child, that's what what you train them, that's what they go by. You know? Or just eat. Man, some young kids you think they woman and they big and out of shape and oh man, I'm telling you. All right. It says national data bears this out by our STEP survey in the Bahamas. 40% of our teens and 71.6% of adults are overweight. Over fucking weight. Overweight. All right. Overweight. All right. Now, let's get on precept, right? All right. Because the scripture speaks about this thing, but I get it in the NLT. All right. This is Sirach 37. It's a lot, not the NLT. This is the GNT. Sirach 37 GNT. It says what? Controlling the appetite. Controlling the appetite. It says, verse 27, my child, as you go through life, keep your appetite under control. And don't eat anything that you know is bad for you. It says, all food doesn't agree with everyone. You see that? And everyone doesn't like the same kinds of food. Don't feel like you just have to have all sorts of fancy food. That's a lot of these people. They ain't got no damn discipline. They can't rule their spirit. All right? Let's get that. All right? What happens if you can't rule your spirit? All right? Let's get that precept. We can get back to the Sirach 37. This is Proverbs 25:28. He that had no rule over his spirit is like a city that's broken down and without walls. So you allow anything to come in. You can't. You just eating and having drinking and doing all kind of other shit, smoking and yeah, people and they diet is have a bad diet. Okay, just eating and drinking and all kind of shit. All right, all right, and it says here, verse 29. Don't feel that you have to have all sorts of fancy food, and don't be a glutton over any food. Don't be a glutton. People is a damn glutton. They cheering as a glutton, and they is a glutton, because that's what they train their cheering. All right. If you eat too much, you'll get sick. If you do it all the time, you'll always have stomach trouble. You notice some of these people belly so damn big. All right, they belly so big. All right, a bunch of dirty water. They belly big. Men walking with big ass belly. All right. Watch this, right? I gotta get this one, man. I gotta get this one. All right. Walking around a big belly. Check this out. Let me see, get that one. Hold on. I'm gonna show you something. Check this out. This is Judges 3 and our hold on. Salakia, right? This is Judges 3. Judges 3 and this is the king of Eglon. Check this out. Judges 3. Alright, one of the judges was Ehud, right? Let me start at verse 16. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges and a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment about his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. He was fat, just like a lot of some of these niggas. Alright, what I saw the other night, they fat. Big belly. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him ran out from him. And Ehud came unto him, and as he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone, big nigga, he had that for himself alone. He's a big nigga. All right, this is a king and he fat. And Ehud said, I have a message from Yahweh today, and he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his hand and took the dagger from his right eye and thrust it in his belly. And the half also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade. Man, he was fat. All right, the nigga say what Dr. San say, big sexy, you sexy, you're fat, so that he could not draw the dagger over his belly, and the dirt came out. Right, the dirt came out. Check this out. A lot of these niggas and these women who ain't got no discipline, the dirt came out. Right, watch this. You see that? The dirt, excrement, feces. All right, feces. What's feces? Shit. That's what came out. All right, waste after matter remaining after food has been digested is charged from the bowel waste. Excretion is the removal of metabolic waste. All right, all right. So pretty much, a lot of these people, hey, they don't have no discipline. All right. Verse 30 says, Sirach 37 and 30 in GNT, if you eat too much, you'll get sick. All these people is do is eat and consume food, don't exercise, nothing. If you do it all the time, you'll always have stomach trouble. That's why so many people belly so big, they don't detox. They don't do nothing. They don't fast, they don't do nothing. That's why they so big and out of shape. Gluttony has been the death of many people. Avoid it and live long. Girl, gluttony. All right, what is gluttony? Let me show you what's gluttony. Because a lot of people don't know what's gluttony. How about your greed or excess in eating? Your damn children and these parents. That's damn want to eat and be greedy, man. Overeating, see? Greed. Overeating or overconsumption. All right? Velocity. Okay? All right, that's these people who jump. Okay? So we see in our country that a lot of young people obese, a lot of adults obese, and it's so bad. It's so bad at a young age. All right, check this out. Right, I had something else I wanted to touch on. Oh shit. Check this out. It says I ain't gonna read too much in this article. It says the people's voice exercising as an adult reduces death risk by 40%. New study reveals. You see that? You all right? Reduces death risk. All right. Um, let me get a precept, right? Let me get a precept. Let me get a precept. Okay. First Timothy 4:8. We get in the GNT. I think one of those one or two of them translation I wanted to read. Okay. Okay. It says, for Timothy 4:8, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for life to come. All right. The KJV, for bodily exercise profited little. It's still profit. All right, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, of that which is to come. The Message Bible, workouts in the gymnasium are useful, but a disciplined life in Yahweh is far more so, making you fit both today and forever. So workouts, all right, bodily exercise is profitable. It profit little, it's still profit. All right, but people tends to not want to take care of themselves and exercise. All right, have a better diet. This is the groundbreaking new study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzing 85 studies with millions of participants reveal that exercising as an adult reduces death risk by up to 40% with consistent activity throughout adulthood, delivering life-extending benefits that rival or surpass many medical treatment. You see how good it is to exercise, even though starting later, shifting from sedentary to active lifestyle. Sedentary means to be inactive, but let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. All right, sedentary, right? Okay, you see that somewhat um, tending to spend much time seated, somewhat inactive. You see that? So you got to be active. You know, put in a little time to exercise. All right. It says, even though starting later, shifting from sedentary to active lifestyle saw a 22 to 27% mortality risk drop, proving personal choice, not corporate medicine, holds the key to longevity. Longevity. All right. These people, personal choice is just eat. That's their lifestyle. That's one eat and drink and lay down and be fat, out of shape, and look so bad. And depending on Esau's pharmakia, you all right? You know, change your diet. Okay, change your diet. All right, do a little exercise. They profit a little, but it's still profit. All right, but a lot of people are obese in these times. All right, and a lot of these women fat because they're under the curses. All right, um, let me see if I can get that precept. Um, let me see if I can get that precept. All right, I go straight to the point. Inside. Um, I'm going Isaiah the 3rd chapter and verse 24. Okay, Isaiah the 3rd chapter and 24. The NLT. Instead of smelling of sweet perfume, she will be stink. Or your Cardi B, your BBL and all kind of shit. She will wear a robe for sash, and her elegant hair will fall up. She will wear rough burlap instead of rich robe. Shame will replace her beauty. All right, me reading the KJV. It says, and it should come to pass, and instead of a sweet smell, there should be sting instead of a girdle. If you look at what a girdle is, a girdle keeps your body, woman body in shape. All right, instead of a girdle, a rent. That's why a lot of them out of shape. And instead of a well said hair baldness, instead of stomach or a girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. All right, and burning instead of beauty, the damn ugly. All right, but pretty much, you gotta exercise and you gotta take care of your body. All right, okay, it's so bad. All right, the Bahamas has the highest prevalence of obesity in adults among the countries in Americas. It's bad. Okay, it's bad. Okay, all right, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to water Yahweh Shem Yahushai for this knowledge, we get the understanding to take the herbs, and apply these to your life, and ever since I started taking the herbs, my body feel a whole lot better, But as for our people, they just want to eat bamboo shack, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, go to the club, drink, lay down the next day, same process every other week, every other day, then go to the doctor. You cause your own, use your own that you do your lifestyle. All right, these people costing on themselves. All right, but yeah, man, I just want to bring it out to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai, Bashem Rakakadash. Yeah, man, Shalom.